Hello and welcome, I am Zabraxi. When Blizzard originally announced Classic WoW, they overtly stated there would be no cash shop in the game. Wow, I mean, that was pretty cool. However, here we are again. People have gotten a little jaded, and that fear of the cash shop entering Classic is back again. But should you be worried? Let's go! I try not to talk about news topics that aren't confirmed yet, but the tension that exists in the player base right now, it seems worth addressing. For anyone living under an Outland-sized rock, there seems to be a mount and a toy that will be part of the Classic TBC Digital Deluxe Edition. Specifically, that this mount and toy will be usable within the Burning Crusade Classic is the real root of the discontent. Is this a problem, and should you be worried? This really boils down to two hypothetical issues. First, is this going to only exist as a Digital Deluxe Edition? And second, what if this leads to an in-game cash shop? Let's tackle these one at a time. What happens if the mount and toy are exclusively part of a special edition purchase going into TBC? If there existed a physical collector's edition with this, then one could easily argue that Blizzard is replicating the expansion buying process. This is actually something that many players have asked for when Classic was originally being announced. However, the rewards here seem to be completely digital. Does this actually change anything though, being solely virtual? Well, yes, video games have changed the landscape pretty dramatically of what is and isn't acceptable for companies in terms of monetization. In 2006, companies were just breaking into the downloadable content. Before this point, and still for years to come, content was sold as full expansions and microtransactions were still relatively infant. This premise in 2004 led Blizzard into the box purchase and subscription model that exists to this very day. In late 2006, Bethesda released the infamous Horse Armor DLC for Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, and I think it's important to remember the insane levels of backlash that existed then. The largest argument being that if this is an in-game reward, then it should be a reward for in-game content, not just the reward itself. So assuming that these items are part of just the Digital Deluxe Edition pack, does that really matter? Does it have any negative impact? Well, it could. Let's think about it this way. The purpose of the subscription model is to ensure that new content is developed regularly for the players. There comes an exception where incredibly large amounts of content are created separate from that regular cycle, and we call that content an expansion. Outland, and all that comes with it, is clearly larger in scope than all of the content introduced across post-launch vanilla subscription cycle combined. Therefore, the players and the developers agree that charging for that content made sense. We could get into the argument all day about whether or not the work to get Classic TBC running is worth considering an additional fee. The ultimate statement has been said though, and that comes from Blizzard themselves, who by not charging a box price for Classic TBC clearly states, at least, that they do not deem it worthy to have that extra cost. This is my incredibly long-winded and pretentious way of getting to this question that I would like to propose. If the Digital Deluxe Edition isn't to make up for development costs for Classic TBC as a product by being a mandatory entry fee, then what is it for? Well, it's a bonus, right? It's the ability for the player to buy an in-game reward as an additional payment to the company that provides a product they enjoy. Some might say that's fine, right? But what's the difference between that and an in-game cash shop? My main issue with the Digital Deluxe Edition items is this. If we buy digital items that offer no additional in-game content, but serve as rewards from content that could be, even for a special event, then we are loudly and proudly claiming that we don't mind a cash shop. There exists virtually no difference between the Warp Stalker mount being a Deluxe Edition item for Classic TBC or a cash shop item for Classic TBC. The only difference is that Blizzard is calling the item pack a Deluxe Edition for the boxed price purchase of a game that doesn't actually even have a boxed priced purchase. So this leads into that second question and that fear that's currently so prevalent right now. What if this leads into an in-game cash shop? I already made an entire video about the cash shop and why it's negative to the game, and even to the players who support it. If you want some more full thoughts, then I recommend you check out that video. It's in response specifically to the announcement of the Sprite Darter set, but the message is the same all in all. Buying virtual in-game items is the same as buying a quest reward without getting the content of the quest. If I buy the mount from the cash shop, I'm intentionally paying to get a reward from content that will never exist. While the idea of value is relative, it's almost universally agreed upon that in a game's content, is its value. The quantity of that content, the quality of it, the uniqueness of that content, it's all tied to the content in the end. The feeling of reward from a task you've overcome, the story that you've completed, or the new perspective the game has made you acknowledge, those are all valuable rewards from content from a game. The setup exists because a reward with nothing attached to it will never feel rewarding. And even if it does, it's not for long. Total Biscuit famously made the point that the cash shop introduced in patch 3.2 set the foundation for Blizzard to sell rewards without ever needing to create context for those rewards in-game. He argued that Blizzard would have the ability now to charge you for what used to be packaged in with your subscription as in-game activities. The modern WoW cash shop is awkward, and whenever I feel like there's a lack of content for me in Shadowlands or heck, even BFA or Legion, I always opened up that cash shop to see all of those mounts and pets that could have been tied to something epic like good quest lines or reputation rewards, or hey, some new activity that Blizzard never came up with that could have been genre defining. If we carry this closer to home with Burning Crusade Classic, if loads of people who play Classic purchase the Digital Deluxe Edition, then what incentive does Blizzard have to create, say, Burning Crusade Plus or Classic Plus content in general? Why spend the development on that type of content when players are willing to just buy the in-game skins up front with no additional content cost required? I vehemently despise the idea of the cash shop being introduced in Classic TBC. In fact, I hate its existence even in modern WoW. The fact Activision Blizzard triple dips with a box price fee, a subscription model, and a vanity store paints the perfect picture as to why there seems to be such a lack of rewarding feeling from that modern game. However, we the players, we know better now. We know where the Digital Deluxe Edition items get us. They look great, and honestly, that Warpstalker mount looks incredible. I really want it. My optimistic side screamed when I first saw that mount that perhaps Blizzard was maybe going to experiment with the idea of Classic Plus and that this would be a reward for a new faction rep to grind with. But no, it's a cash shop item. Essentially, the answer to that original second question, what if this leads to an in-game cash shop? Well, when it does, then we can't just blame Blizzard this time. But it is also us, the players, who willingly whitelisted this introduction because we already bought the fruit from its tree. Did you enjoy the video? Did you not? Did you like my opinion? Did you think it sucked? Either way, if you could, please hit that like and subscribe button to let me know that you enjoyed and that everything was okay and you'd want to see more of it. That would be cool. But if you did, seriously, if you thought it was stupid and you really disagree with me, then hit me up in the comments down below. I'd like to have a conversation. I am going to try to not make a snarky comment, but I actually do enjoy the conversation and hearing the other perspective. Also, if you want to have cool and fun conversations with stuff like this or game design in general and have a lot of laughs, then please follow me over on twitch.tv/Zabraxy, where live streaming has been a blast and my chat basically rules my life. And also, if you want to hear more of my hot takes or just bad takes on gaming as a whole, also feel free to follow me on twitter.com/Zabraxy. That one's screwed up a little bit, where I spout a bunch of gaming nonsense. So feel free to follow me there. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Yeah, this I think this is just gonna have to be a one-off. I mean, great that I can at least say I did kill a mob level appropriate with just searing